Well,
Dude.
last night, or not, no, 2 nights ago, a sheriff was here and we drove past him and whatever. And we were like walking Gunner, and then we went back to our little spot in the very back. And the sheriff shows up while Andrew's setting up the power cord. And he's like, hey, and I started recording because I'm like, here we go. Andrew's going to get assaulted and thrown down the hill.
You can't park here.
On this episode, we're diving back into our van life solution series as far as like what we are foreseeing as amidst the executive orders, amidst public land disappearing. And what we're covering in this episode is all different kind of alternatives to how we can remain nomadic despite all of those changes that are happening to our lifestyle. We really want to bring forth a few different episodes to this. So we've got one that's already going to be airing soon, or probably by the time this airs, it will already have been aired. And that is about trusted house sitting and pet sitting as a means of not only an income, but also staying nomadic. It can be very, very awesome. I can't wait till that episode comes out. It came out so well. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about work camping as far as hosting in a campground, getting paid, and also using it as a home base while you're still traveling and figuring that all out. We have some upcoming episodes such as Workaway, woofing. We've got land sharing and all kinds of like parking apps that we're going to talk about, and like truck sharing,
Homesteading.
And homesteading and intentional communities. And it feels like we are getting more episodes as we're doing this series, which is awesome because we're always welcoming new ideas to this. So if you guys have any ideas as the audience, please let us know in the comments. If you'd like to be interviewed on the podcast, we are absolutely open to it. We have other people that are going to be coming on that we have interviews tomorrow with that are doing a thing called PIVO, which is pilot something. I'm sorry, I don't remember what it stands for.
They'll tell us.
They're going to tell us. And it's all about like traveling with another group, like a crew, while they're transporting like big major things.
Oh, it's like the oversized load people, and there's like cars in front of them and behind them.
Oh, the pilot car.
That's kind of cool.
Absolutely. So like someone I know lives in a minivan and does this, and she does have a place to live, like an apartment in a certain state, and then works from that base. But like she'll be gone for weeks at a time sometimes and uses her minivan as a camper, brings her pets along and everything. And so that's what we're going to be talking about next. And then we have just so many different episodes upcoming that I'm so excited. So if you think you have an alternative living situation that will keep you nomadic, it doesn't matter if it brings you an income or not. We want to hear it. Let us know in the comments. We'd love to have you on the show. And with that, I want to introduce our next guest, which is Mikey from Mikey's Traveling Tales on TikTok. Mikey, we will be putting all your links in the caption. So if you want to say them out loud right now, and then send it to us later, and we'll put them in the caption.
Yep, everything on all socials is at Mikey's Traveling Tales.
Awesome.
And it tail spelled like the dog tail.
Okay. And you're on TikTok, Instagram,
YouTube, and Facebook.
Excellent. Okay. Oh, I didn't realize you were on YouTube. That's fantastic. We'll look you up and we'll find you, and we'll link you in the caption. Perfect. Excellent. Kyla, chime in at any time. Sorry.
This whole thing is Turkish coffee, and you're really only supposed to have like a tiny little cup. And I'm drinking a whole thing of Turkish coffee. And I feel great. I'm just happy to be here.
It sounds like Mikey's having a day like that too. Share the wealth, girl.
It had been a day. I'm chugging a Mountain Dew as we speak.
Love it. Love it.
Okay.
I've got my own little coffee going on here. This is like my third one of the day. So listen, I came into town after being in the woods for a week, and my big treat when I come into town is that I don't even do coffee. When I wake up and I'm ready to go, I drive to town and I hit the Maverick and I get a real brewed gas station coffee. I know it's not Starbucks or anything, but listen, that's my treat. With these little creamer cups, and
Heck
They're
yeah.
so good.
I'm happy.
I mean, I'm a 7 brew Like, if you want me to be blunt, like, I love 7 Brew, but they're like $7 for a large coffee, which isn't bad, but that adds up really quick.
Yeah,
So,
That's
it
a
does.
lot though. $7 for, I mean, that's like a mixed drink at a bar.
Oh no,
But
the
I'm getting a
mixed
mixed
drinks
drink.
here. The mixed drinks here are 12, 13 now, baby. Ain't no 7. Welcome to 2025, girl.
I haven't been to a club in so long.
I know. Well, I only go when I have to for work. I'm not like a bar club person anymore, but like later tonight I'm going to a vaudeville style show. That's why I'm all done up. But you know, that's when I have to network and buy the expensive drink and tip the dolls and say hi to everybody because I'm trying to get into their little show.
Good. You're gonna do. They're gonna love you, Kyla. We all love you. They're gonna.
Well, not everyone, but I'll take it.
Well, if you don't love Kyla, then you don't love me, and you shouldn't be here in the first place.
if you truly know the two of them, like, off of here, they're cool. They're not worth being mad at, y'all.
Thanks.
So,
We definitely have our opinions, and I think some people don't agree with our opinions because they're wrong. But you know, that's okay. You can be wrong.
I mean,
So Mikey, just introduce yourself, and I mean, you can give us like where you're from, what you're doing now. You don't have to give your exact location, maybe just the state or the Pacific Northwest or something.
Okay.
And give us like how long you've been on the road, all that, just a basic background.
So I'm Mikey. I'll be 30 in November. I'm from Iowa. I started traveling full-time in February, but I was kind of full-time in September of last year. And then I went back home for a short time to get my house ready. I rent my home out, and that pays for itself. So I own it, but it does pay everything for me. And I make a whole $50 a month off of it, but money's money. I'll take it. And then I own a cleaning business as well. I do that remote. So I have people that work for me, which is ironically all my family, and it's working out. So knock on wood. And then I'm doing this. So those are my income sources that I do. And then I'm currently in Montana doing work camping. I'm not, so I know you mentioned like work camping for the campground. So I'm work camping at a lodge nearby, but I'm staying in the campground for free. And they offer that as a part of your pay. So the wage is just under 15 an hour. It's nothing crazy, but that's after everything's taken out. So I get 1 free meal a day, and I get a free site with water and electricity for that. And I work 40 hours a week.
Oh, that pays for itself, honestly. Food, room, and board.
Yeah.
And you get $15 an hour. That's actually a really great deal.
And I'm not paying for fuel because they're shuttling me up to the mountain. And then they've given me additional stuff. They've given me, like, yesterday was donut day. They gave everybody free donuts. Today they gave me a thing of bagels that they have because they wanted me to have them.
Okay,
And I was like,
I'm on my way. All you had to say was donuts.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I have never done work camping. Later I'll get into like my weird ways that like me and my husband still have agreements with people we work for. But I have seen the work camping posts online, and sometimes they're like really heinous and insane, and it's like basically they want like slave labor. Am I allowed to say that? We'll bleep it out. But like it's like really like insane. And what you just described actually sounds really awesome because like 40 hours a week is like what, part-time? And then then you still have time to do other stuff. And if your social media is growing and that's like passive income, like that's an awesome way to like have a free place to stay and not get harassed by the cops.
And
well,
even
and you're
you have
here
time to save at that point too.
Exactly. And you're here for the whole season. It starts on May 7th and then it runs to October 2nd or 3rd, I think. So you're here that whole time. So if you're trying to like save money for the winter, you got to think you're not paying for fuel if you leave your van or your RV parked that whole time. So you can pocket all that, and that's your fuel for the winter. You already have it. If you factor in like let's see, like your other expenses, like your electric and stuff, like you don't have to run a generator or whatever your power source may be. You don't have to worry about charging your Jackery, whatever. You don't have to worry about that. So you're saving that too. And then they told me if I have jugs of water, and they're like, fill like all 5 of them before you leave. Like, make sure like you get use out of everything. Like, you can fill the water, you can take that, you can, like, they were cool about it. And then when I got here, they were like, if you want to work a 5th day and have 10 hours of overtime a week, you're welcome to.
Nice.
So I was like, man, and it's even like a bigger company, and a lot of people talk about them. It's Xanterra, which you guys can beep that out if you need to, but they have bad reviews online, and I was hesitant, I'm not gonna lie. And then when I got here, there was a few things with one individual, but then I found out from other people it's common, so I didn't really worry about it anymore. And then kind of shrugged that off. Don't really see them anyway. It's all been good, and everything's been great. So
awesome.
That sounds amazing.
I know. I'm really happy that you found this, and that that this is an opportunity, not just for you, but for other people who are looking for something. Obviously, like, you have to be a responsible person who has a good work ethic, or you're going to ruin this situation for yourself. But if it sounds like, Mikey, you've already got that, you own a business, you own a house, you're running some things already. This is a walk in the park for you. And I love that. I think that this is a great resource to use as you're nomadic or even traveling part-time. This is fantastic.
Absolutely. You don't have to do every season. You can just do, you can do one season, you can, a lot of people will work like the summer and take the winter off. There's people that bounce between here and they go down to like Grand Canyon, Death Valley, those type of places, and they'll work in the winter, and then they'll come back up here, and the company just lets them bounce between. So
did you hear about it from a friend? Like, what drew you to it? What got you involved in it in the first place? And how hard was like the application and the hiring process?
So I've been I've kept Workamping kind of in my view. I mean, a lot of people, like on TikTok, like, like Maddie does this, and other people do it. And so I've seen the Workamping, and I wasn't sure I wanted to, because like, you are kind of tied down while you're here. And I know a lot of people when they travel, they like the freedom. So you have to remember that.
Yeah.
But I decided, I was like, I need the money. I'm trying to open another business. That's something else I didn't say yet. So, I need to get ahead on things. And so I thought, no, you can settle down for a minute, go ahead and do it. It hasn't been bad, and I'm glad I did. I really am. And not only that, but like, Bunny and I are trying to go get our teeth fixed in Mexico. Okay, I need cash.
You need that teeth money. Y'all are gonna get veneers. Y'all are gonna look good. Ooh.
Listen, I'm not playing. I have to. I can't. Like, everything hurts when I eat. Mikey. We've struggled with this for too long. I just want to like smile with confidence again.
Yes, they pulled my teeth out 12 years ago, and I haven't had top teeth since, and it's not been fun. So.
My goodness. I don't even know. I mean, I know this is off topic, but like, were you able to get dentures or something? Because I've heard nothing but bad things about dentures too. Like, the glue tastes like grossness. It's toxic to you. It's always uncomfortable getting them adjusted, and your mouth shape changes, and you look like a horse.
Yeah, I've had 2 different. You're not wrong. I had 2 different pairs. They're pictures, and if you look, like, even my profile picture, like, I have teeth in. They're the second pair of dentures I got. The first pair they made never fit me correctly. I never wore them. They hurt. They were painful. I kept telling them. They told me there was nothing they could do. I think they just didn't want to be honest, because they were like digging in the side of my gum. There's no way that's normal. Yeah. I'm sorry. No. You're right. The glue you use tastes like, to put it nicely. There's no other way to put it. And yeah, no, they're hell. And then the second pair, so I got that pair when I was bigger, because I used to be 300 pounds. I had bariatric surgery, and I lost 165.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. So when I did that, your mouth shrinks. And so I made one like midway through my weight loss. Well, then I lost more. And so now they don't even fit. Like, if I put them in, they just fall out of my mouth.
Oh, no. Okay.
Well, I've seen the ones. Have you seen the DIY ones where you basically just like boil them and then like put them in yourself?
I have seen those, but I'm afraid to try them. I feel like
I'm not saying they'll be good, but like, I've seen the DIY dentures. Who knows? I don't know. I
might have you send it to me.
Yeah, have Bunny show you.
My teeth are already out. I'll take one for the team. I'll try it. If it doesn't work, then
do a review.
Okay. Dude, we'll make content about it. It'll be
There you
great.
go. I'll be like, Kyla told me to.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Maybe I can approach a brand about it and we can do a brand deal.
There you
I
go.
became.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. We'll circle back to that.
We'll come back.
Okay, so what you said, I can't remember the name of the platform. I think you told us it starts with a Z or something.
So the company I'm working for is the Antera, but you can go to like whoworks.com. You can go there to find them. You can the work camping sites on Facebook are always posting things.
Okay.
There's a lot of drama on there, just like the van life groups. You got to be careful. You got to watch what you're looking at.
Drama on Facebook? No.
Never on social media. What do you mean? So Cool Works is basically like an Indeed. So you just kind of get on there, you search where you want to go. So like when you open it up, it'll have you like you can go into like advanced search and you can put in like summer, winter, fall, whatever time you want to work, and you can put where. So like another suggestion for a lot of people who want to do this or want to travel and don't know how, like you can literally get jobs through this site in Alaska. There are all kinds of jobs in Alaska. You could travel there and work and be there for free.
Nice. And they won't pay your travel expenses, but they will pay once you get there.
Exactly. So they won't pay to get you there, but they, you get you're getting compensated while you're there. And you're getting, when you're getting electric and water for free, that alone. I mean, even in like these type of placements, that's
even now look, I have solar. I'm always set for solar, and I've got other things as far as auxiliary power. But at the same time, like having water right next to your rig or nearby where you don't have to worry about it is such a huge stress relief. Like even though you're not spending 50 cents a gallon, okay, so you're only saving what, like $10 a week on water, but at the same time, it's the stress. And that alone is a huge relief. Kyla, I don't know how much water you guys have on board. I think you've told me before, but it gets to be a pain in the butt if you don't have water access.
Yeah, I have a 7-gallon food grade container for my sink. And I mean, we still put drinkable water in there. And then I have a 5-gallon with a pump for drinking water. And I mean, we're non-nomadic. And we're around a city area often, so yeah, we have it a little bit easier to go and fill up because we're not going off onto BLM land for long stints, and then like it's a big ordeal to come back. But I mean, it's still annoying. Like it's such a luxury when we actually have like a campground for the weekend and we can set up shop and we have running water and we have the shower and the toilets and everything. But you're looking at, or in this area, if it's a like a national park, it's like starts at $40 if you want power hookups. And then if you're wanting like a hip camp or like an RV park, at least 60 a night for the hip camps if you want power. And then like the RV parks, a lot of them don't allow us because we're not RVIA certified. We're a self-build. But some of the mom and pop ones I've been to are amazing, but it's still like 60 to $80 a night if you want power, which adds up really quickly. So why wouldn't you do work camping like what Mikey's doing and you're paid to be there?
Right. And you have the amenities of full power and all the water you want. And like, we as van lifers, Mikey, every water drop is counted for. Like everything is budgeted. And so when you have a faucet near your rig or even a hose, or even if it's 100 feet away or more, just to know that there's an endless supply. You don't, if you need it in the middle of the night, you can get out of the van and walk to it and it's there. You're not constantly, I mean, a lot of people don't realize that about nomadic and van life, even if you're not nomadic, like Kyla living in a city, it's constant. There's so many little things to keep constantly thinking about.
My sink overflowed today.
Or like in a house, there's just as many things to think about, but like you're never really worried about the water until something goes on wrong. And then you're like, oh my God, Oh my God, we have to get the plumber in here and all that. But like
today, my sink overflowed like before we started the podcast because we've been spending the night at Andrew's work. We're allowed to, and they have power here, so I'm like hooked up to like a 30 amp right now. Like I can run my big giant Dometic AC unit, and like I have like unlimited power. Well, kind of, sort of. Like we can this AC takes up a lot of power, so we can still like. I can't get too carried away. I can't like also plug in an air fryer, but because like we'll shower at the gym and then go back to Andrew's work. In the morning he'll wake up and use the sink to get ready. So I wasn't used to like the sink getting that filled up that easily. So I guess I wasn't paying attention to how full it was already. So I went to use it this morning, and then I was like, why is my makeup mirror wet? Why is everything under here wet? And the container for my gray water was overflowing on. I was like, oh God. I mean, it's like pretty gross, but at least it's gray water, not black water. But yeah, stuff like that's going to happen. You're always like, how much am I consuming? How much more water do I need? How full is my tank? And like, that's even if you're a luxury RV person, like you have to keep track of that.
Oh,
you
yeah.
You just have like the nice panel that tells you when it's getting full.
Right.
Which
right.
I mean, I messed up and I bought one of those bougie vans. I don't recommend it, y'all. I
heard that a lot, Mikey. I remember you talking about that. You have a Dodge ProMaster, right? A Ram ProMaster?
Yeah, and I screwed up and I didn't want to pay to like do the inside, and I was kind of like, and I wanted to get a unit, and I was able to trade a vehicle, and I was like, I'll just go to Camper Road and get a van. That was my first mistake. Don't ever go there. Messed up. Don't buy a Ram. My next mistake. Messed up. Now I'm basically remodeling the whole thing. So like, I took my passenger seat out. I'm sitting on a custom built ottoman I had put in, and then underneath of it is a dog kennel for the leash. So they're down here. And then I'm up top, and then when we're driving, one of them wants to be on my lap. It happens all the time, and then the other two will kind of be wherever. But I normally put them in the kennel when I'm trying to do, and then Theodore likes to get up here, then he can hook to the old seatbelt over here. So
nice. So everyone has their spot while they're traversing. Yeah, I have an older Dodge, and they're made way better. I know I sound like an old mechanic. They don't make them like they used to, but it's true, sadly.
I mean,
my two
vans
my old two vans, like I had like the first one, which was like brown and had avocado carpeting. It was awesome. I named it Chevy Chase. It was so dope. But that one lasted me 20 days before the transmission blew. I bought another one, did all this work on it to get it road ready, and it made it 170 miles down the road and blew. And they were both Chevys. One was a G20 and one was the Vandura. And so I was like, for never again will I get a Chevy. But then I had a minivan that was a Plymouth Voyager that was basically a Chevy Caravan, only an older version of it. That thing was a tank. It was a tank.
So I'm gonna tell you why that one was better. So Plymouth is actually, I know my car, so I'm really sorry, but Plymouth is actually Mopar, which is a Dodge product. But it's the old Dodge, like what Kyla has. So it was a good. So I have had a lot of what would have been Mopar products, like newer ones, and they're junk. Mopar sold out, I don't know what year, but in the mid 2010s, they sold out to Stellantis, which is now a foreign company, and they're the company that makes Fiat and Alfa Romeo. So that's who owns Ram and everything now. And I knew not to buy the Ram, but it was cheap, and I thought, well, man, it's already built out, and it's
what do you think about
the most room to build in too?
Yeah, what do you think about like the Ram, like the actual Ram trucks versus the ProMasters?
I like the trucks, but I've had so like I said, I have a business. When I have my house, I had a spending problem. I'm just gonna be blunt. So I had I had a 19 Cherokee Limited. I had a 19 Wrangler. I've had a 22 Cherokee Trailhawk, a 23 Renegade Trailhawk, and then I had it got totaled. I had it for a month, but I had a Fiat 500X that was brand new. It was a 23. I bought it last fall, and I hit a deer and totaled it about a month in, but it was having transmission issues. The Renegade had transmission issues after 4 months. They're all honestly, anything new from that company, I would not buy it.
It's so disappointing. My friend has a newer Chevy truck, and it was his pride and joy, and transmission issues. There's a class action lawsuit. Like, I just feel, and my husband sells cars, by the way. That's not like a secret. And luckily, what he sells is really solid. But you see a lot of people trading in certain vehicles for what he sells because these other vehicles, like after like 40,000 miles, the transmission goes, and I'm like, what? And like vehicles are not cheap anymore. It's like you're looking at $100K for a nice truck now, hands down, like a brand new nice truck to tow stuff if you want. I kind of like the Tacomas though. I don't know. I kind of like them.
Oh, the Tacoma, they're so solid. Oh my God, you can never go wrong with Toyota Tacoma. I really like the old school ones that look like 4Runners because they're compact. You don't need all that beastie, the big stuff. You really don't. It's not necessary. That's like just ego and bullying. But I love tacos. I would always have one. If I could get my hands on one, I absolutely would build a little tiny like truck bed camper out of one. I absolutely would.
They're so cute.
When you got this job, like what did you expect going into it, and how did it compare to the reality of being there and working there?
So, I mean, I honestly expected it was going to be worse because, you're working with a lot of like teenagers and stuff. So I just expected there was going to be a little bit worse. And I mean, my expectations were definitely kind of accurate in a way, but better than I thought. So everybody's been really nice, really helpful. Everybody's been really friendly. But going into it, I didn't want to set high expectations because I knew the type of place I was going into. So I didn't want to get my hopes up that it was going to be the dream perfect, Barbie gig. But then I got here and it really isn't bad. It's really great. So
what do you do? I know you mentioned like you're sitting at a counter and like you're doing like maybe 3 hours of work, but like, is there maintenance involved? Is there cleaning? Is it mostly guest services, reception?
So I'm doing like overnight at a hotel within the park. And so I'm checking guests in and I check them out later within that function. And then I run a report in the middle of the night that has to be ran. And then I do some paperwork. And then the only other thing I do is like if lost and found items come up, I will put them I'll document them and then I'll put them in the cabinet. And then otherwise, the only other thing I do is like if something happens, I'll call security and then like security will come up. So like I'll keep an eye on the lobby and then like kick people out if I need to or whatever. But security comes and does it for me. And then if I have to step away from the desk, even like security comes to the desk and then I step away. So,
and this is the only work camping position you've had with, whether it's with Xanterra or with Coolworks.
Yeah, this is my first work camping job ever.
Would you definitely do it again? I'm assuming.
So far, I am only about 2 weeks in. But so far, yes. So far, yes.
Okay.
As we know with any job, it can change, But so far, I do like it.
Right.
That's awesome. I feel like a lot of people, when they think of work camping, it's like you're on a golf cart, driving around an RV park, like picking up garbage and cleaning toilets. And it's like a lot of physical labor. So it's nice to hear that you can still have a work camping opportunity, especially for someone that maybe, isn't as physical, doesn't have that ability to do physical labor. You basically, it's just like you're a hotel concierge, right? So like, that's awesome.
Pretty much. And then the same company, like they have jobs like the girl in my training class was a diesel mechanic. She's out here doing mechanics through the same company, seasonal. They hire like tour bus drivers and stuff. Same thing. You don't even have it's in a van, so I don't think you have to have a special license. Maybe like a chauffeur. I don't know. They hire like bartenders, restaurant staff, bellmen, housekeeping. I mean, anything you may have for a skill, they hire for it. And if you don't have a rig and you live in your vehicle, they offer dormitory style housing and cabins. And if you are in management, in whether it be the restaurant, in a hotel, any of it, even if you're like park, like if you are the person at the park, you get your site for free. But if you're doing like management jobs within like the lodge or like in a hotel or something, they will give you get your housing for free. You don't pay for it at all.
Nice.
That's awesome.
No,
And you have better pay. So
that's huge. That's awesome. It does get taken a little bit out of your pay, or
so with mine, for my food and my housing, I lose like $1.40 an hour, but I'm still making just under 15. So
it's fine. Yeah.
it's worth it. I don't even realize they do it.
Right.
So.
Right. And as far as like the living conditions, like you did mention that like you kind of sacrifice a little bit of freedom because you're kind of tied down, but you still have your off hours to do whatever you want. You can leave in your vehicle if you want to, but like, what is the living conditions like? Do you have privacy? Like, are you in like under a pagoda? Like, what is that like?
So we are in the middle of the mountains. So I just have trees kind of within the campsite. But I'm getting like a regular campsite like you would pay for, like you would see where you pull your RV in. There's cabins just down from me. So they have cabins in here and they have RV sites as well. And then like, so I'm near one of the ends of where I'm at. So there's actually a bathroom right by me. So there's a restroom just down from me if I want to utilize that. And then we have like a shelter area you can go to. And then they have a kayak you can take out on the water back here.
Oh, wow.
So we have that, but otherwise, and then the showers are on the other end and they have showers here. So if you don't have like a shower in your rig, you get shower, that's all free. And then they have a community kitchen that you can use to cook a meal up there if you don't have means to do so in your rig.
This
So
is
nice.
awesome.
Man.
This
It's almost
is perfect.
you know?
But I was gonna say for like anyone who's doing like, let's say you're traveling nomadically and you're living in your vehicle, like you're in your car, and you're like, I kind of just need to reset and I need to make money and I don't know how to do that. This is the perfect way to do it, guys. You can come and you can go to like, bring your car, live in dormitory style housing. It comes out of your pay. You're eating, I think, because you do pay for your meals technically. So like for the plan I'm on, like one meal a day is $20 every 2 weeks. That's really cheap if you break down.
That's cheaper than groceries.
Well, if you look at what you'd spend on grocery, I can be a little bougie at the grocery store, so maybe it would help me to not overspend on food.
Yeah, no, really. How's the food? Is the food pretty decent?
Yeah, so it's actually, well, the dormitory housing food is a little different. So if you eat in the employee dining room, it's like cafeteria style food. And I've heard that like they make so many things, but they circle back because there's only so much you can make. And then, doing overnight. So if you do overnight at a lot of these places, and if they have a restaurant in the hotel, they'll feed you from there instead of the employee housing. So when I go in, I get to order from this like 5-star restaurant, but like you get like a $25 limit. So you can have chicken. They have like fish if you're into that. I had weight loss surgery a few years ago. So like the one meal feeds me all day long. So what I do is I order, they let me get 2 kids meals because it equals to even less than a regular meal. And so like I'll get like a double grilled cheese and like chips. Or last night I got bow tie pasta with meatballs.
Nice.
So,
This was nice. You don't even have to.
No.
Okay.
Wow, this sounds really damn good, man.
Right?
This sounds amazing. And I just
But for
want to... Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to tie it back into, which I'm sure Bunny might say anyways. This is such a perfect example, and it's so timely because of the new executive order against homelessness and the fear that with this new executive order, and I'm not going to, like, it's not red nor blue. This is like a class war in my eyes. This new executive order, if you're not already aware, me and Bunny have already made videos on YouTube about it. Go check them out. But essentially, states will get federal funding to be able to wrangle up homeless people. And yes, that includes us in a van. They don't differentiate and institutionalize us against our will. So if that is a big fear to you, or if you do not have resources where you're currently staying, we are talking about this right now because doing work camping or being in a situation like Mikey is in could end up very well saving a lot of people from severe harassment and legal issues. And I don't want to fearmonger. This is why we have this podcast, is to bring you solutions and bring on real people. I never want to give you half-hearted suggestions with no details. Like Mikey is such a great example of he's in a safe place. No one can harass him. He's making money. He can go to sleep every night knowing that he's not going to get the knock. And that's what I really want for all of you guys. So, yeah.
And that is a peace of mind. Like, to go to bed, know that I'm not going to get woken up by a cop in 3 hours, and great. Like,
It's like the water thing where you just don't have to worry, and you know that you cannot be messed with. There's no, like, it's invaluable. It's just, it's beyond value.
And to circle back,
I want to ask, like, how is it when you plan for the next, like, work camping situation, or like, are you planning on traveling for the next few months? So, like, are you going to go back home?
So for me, I'm still kind of in between, but I think I'm going to take the winter off for a couple of reasons. So I'm opening a new business, launching a new business. And the initial launch location, I'm planning to be in the Denver metro. I'm going to speak more on this soon because it does have to do with van life. But I plan to launch it in the Denver metro area. So I'm probably going to go out that direction for a minute and do some work I need to do on ground there. And then once I get done with that, I turned 30 in November. I'll probably be in Denver during that, but I think in February I want to do a cruise to Hawaii for my birthday. So
yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
I need to knock Hawaii and Alaska off. I can drive to Alaska. I can't drive to Hawaii. So
you're gonna have to make content about it. People love the cruise ship stuff.
We want to see.
Oh, I will.
We want to see.
Yeah, I want to see. Listen, how far in advance do you have to commit to something? If you get to, like, if you wanted to plan this around your entire year and you were really responsible about setting this all up and organizing logistics, could you in fact set something up for like 6 to 12 months in advance if you wanted to?
Different places are different. I don't know if you can do it like a year in advance, probably like 4 to 6 months for sure. Things will get posted. They kind of do it by season from what I'm seeing. Or you can do it last minute. I literally found this job and then a month later was starting, only because I had to delay it a week. Otherwise I would have been here 3 weeks from applying. So It can be really quick.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
You can look right now. Like if you're like
back and work for the same place the following year if they liked what you did.
You absolutely can. They actually tell you if you leave on good terms, you will get preference over someone new if you have good like repertoire with the company.
So going into that, what type of contract or agreement do you have? Like, my concern with anything like this is I need clear, concise agreement on my pay, my tasks, because not that I've done specifically work camping, but I've gotten into situations before where it's like, yeah, all you have to do is this, and then we'll give you this. And then it was like not anything like what they said. And I'm like, whoa, this isn't what I agreed to.
They put it in your job offer that you sign, and they do word it in a really good way. They said like name of employer will provide housing at this rate per day. Like everything's worded very contractual. So like even if they went back on it, you could use that to your advantage and be like, hey, but you told me this.
Always get a contract.
That agreement I signed for my job offer said that, but obviously, look, a lot of places could put in there, this is not a contractual agreement. Like you want to make sure they don't say that, but mine did not. Mine basically said, we're going to give you this.
Okay.
Use that. Oh.
Do you think you have any cons about this? Like, are there things that they could improve upon to make this situation better? Like, not at your specific location, but like within the Coolworks website, within the whole realm?
Coolworks a pretty good site. They've been around for quite a while from what I understand. But Coolworks, I feel like they could simplify things a little bit because you do have to kind of do some clicks on the drop down. Like, I can't talk. When you get on the website, you'll understand. Like, you have to click, like, do some clicks on like the search. But once you figure it out, it's not that hard. It just takes a minute. That part could be easier. And then there's been a lot of things I applied for on there that should have been removed because they're not hiring anymore. That's the other thing that kind of sucks. And I think that's more during like the hardcore season where they're really recruiting a lot. Like employers are just forgetting to like offload the listing. And I feel like Cool Work should maybe do like and maybe they do behind the scenes, but do like every so long, hey, is this posting still active? Do you need to remove it? Kind of like, like a Facebook marketplace will do. Like, do you need to do this or that? Because I wonder if employers forget. Because I've seen some on there that are like, oh, you start June 1st and at July 25th.
I wonder if it's also like scam companies doing like phishing attempts just to get people's information, like send us your resume, and then they have everything about you.
And then you never hear nothing, and you don't know.
Yeah.
And that's possible. I mean, but a lot of them, like on CoolWorks, a lot of them will say, like, do you want to work at, I'm trying to think, do you want to work at Yellowstone? And you'll click on Yellowstone, and then it'll come up, and it'll be all, like, legit places within Yellowstone. So I wonder if they have to register on the site a certain way, which would be cool to know the back end of that, because if they have to register a certain way to post, that would be so much more secure for us.
Right.
But I don't know how they're doing that.
Okay. So they're not really things that we could improve, but maybe on the back end. Interesting.
But if you use the Facebook group, do your diligence, look who you're talking to, because like there's been a lot of them on there that are like, oh, we're legit, and then you send them stuff and you don't hear anything. And everybody's like, I applied.
One of the other episodes we're gonna do is like the parking apps, and I recently was able to finagle, I acquired a rental parking spot from someone who lives in the neighborhoods in Flagstaff, and that was great. It was super affordable. I spent 2 weeks there. They didn't even know I was there half the time. They would come out and be like, are you okay? I'm great. I loved it. It was fantastic for me. I never had to worry about the cops knocking again. And for the price, it was great. But I found them through a Facebook group, and I didn't want to like talk too much about it and like encourage people to do that, because the apps do kind of protect you. There is kind of like a vetting thing, and like, they have to be registered on the site. You have to like, I don't know is there like a membership that you have to pay to be part of CoolWorks, or is it just, no?
It's free. It's just like an Indeed for work camping and like travel, like that type of stuff.
Okay. So yeah, like that's the one thing. You do have to be careful with Facebook, and not just with the people you're going to be working for or staying with, also like the people on the other end who are going to be hosting you and hiring you. If you're going to use Facebook, like don't be a dick and ruin it for everyone else. Like be responsible. And I think that's why I kind of prefer using the apps these days, just because you're protected. You can get kicked off an app if you screw it up for someone else. But also the Facebook thing worked for me. So, I mean, use your best discretion,
Exactly. You gotta know what you're going into. Don't walk into anything blindly. Do your research. I mean, I didn't research the company I'm with probably the best I should have, but it turned out to be a really good experience at the end of the day. So, I mean, I've heard some people say, had I read the reviews, I probably wouldn't have came here. And I was like, yeah, but you can't go off of someone else's experience because you don't know. You don't know the back end of that. So,
right.
Well, people also weaponize reviews so frequently online now, where it's like, it could be a slew of bad reviews from someone that has a vendetta, or there was like a personal issue. I'm not saying to not check out reviews, but it's you have to. Sometimes you don't know until you know. You just gotta try it out.
Follow your guts. If your guts get the bubbles, listen to them.
Yep.
That.
Yeah, big time. Some people don't have discernment. They don't have that intuition, and like they're relying on the websites. And so, but even when you talk to, I always suggest like build some kind of repertoire with the people you're going to be staying with, working with, before you get there, if you can. Like if you can just have a couple email conversations, just get an idea of who these people.
I want a phone call.
On the phone, yeah.
I like to talk to people on the phone because things can be really misconstrued over text.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like I'm pretty intuitive, so when I talk to people on the phone and like ask a few questions, I can kind of tell if is this something I want to do or not a little bit better usually.
Yep. So Mikey, I'm going to wrap up with like, if you have one thing that you wish you knew before you started, what would it be? And what would you tell someone else getting into this, like who wanted to get into this?
So if I knew one thing before going into this, I think it would just be to be prepared with the diverse group of people you're going to be with. So like they kind of prepare you for that, and that's not in a bad way. So you get to meet people of all age ranges, and so you have to understand you're working with people with, who are retired, so they're going to work a little slower, and you're working with people who are 19 who just don't know what they're doing and they're figuring it out. Like you're working with a diverse group of people, so keep that in mind. Don't go into it thinking you're going into this slow-paced. Everybody is here to just kind of work and do their thing like a corporate job. No, that's not what you're getting, but that's what makes the job fun. So,
part of the adventure, yeah.
Exactly. And if I could tell anyone anything about this, if you're contemplating doing it, do it. It's been an amazing experience. You meet amazing people. I've met people from all over. Like I work with people who are here from overseas doing it. That are just over here for that. I went on a hike the other day, met a guy from England who gave me, if you ever come over here or go over there and you do like van life, he gave me a site. He's like, only locals know about this. They don't like tourists to know, but save this because you'll have better spots to park where it's the most pretty places and we keep it quiet.
Nice.
And I was like, okay, cool, thanks. So I took that down. You meet people that come into where you're at, no matter what you're doing. Like if you're in information, if you're working at a hotel, if you're working at a store in a national park, you're going to get a diverse group of people. So that's been awesome. I've met so many people, so many different age ranges. That's been cool. Like if you're contemplating getting into this seriously, do it.
Yeah.
Even just one season. If you don't like it, you can leave. It's like any other job. You're not, when we were talking about earlier, like a contract, you're not contractually like stuck here. Like if I was like, I don't like this, I quit, they'll give me 24 hours to vacate my spot.
Oh, nice. Okay.
You're more like a contractor, like a seasonal contracted job.
Yeah, and then they pay you like hourly. It's like there's a little bit to it's like a job, but like it's like any other job. If you were to quit, you just have to leave.
They can't like do false imprisonment and like hold you hostage there.
Right.
So like you sign an agreement. Like
yeah. No. Well, it seems like if you have a strong work ethic, you're responsible, and you have an open mind and work well with others, then this would be a good opportunity for you.
Absolutely.
And even if what I'm describing isn't your cup of tea, like look on Coolworks. There's all kinds of different things, different companies. You get, like on the groups, like Bunny said, you'll find individual, but do your diligence, do your research, know who you're staying with, and please don't put yourself in harm.
So what other if you know of any that you were looking at, for example, like what are the other positions you could have applied for or taken?
Yeah, so I did like their overnight because it was more it was just easier and it was just easy to get into. But they were hiring for bartender. They're hiring for front desk currently. They're hiring for servers. They're hiring, housekeeping. They had a lot of like housekeeping stuff available. At different locations, I saw they're hiring for like front desk and assistant front desk manager. They're looking for that right now. With summer wrapping up and like going into fall and winter jobs are going to start being posted a lot right now. They're going to be everything you can think of. They're going to be campground hosts. They're going to be housekeeping, serving. There's all kinds of stuff. The company that I'm with has cruise lines, and they even have like jobs on a cruise ship that you can go do if you want to.
Yeah, and ski bums. Winter is it's your time, man. You go be a ski lift operator or a ski instructor, man. Yep.
Heck yeah.
Yep. Awesome. No, this has been great. I love this. I almost want to go off and try them all myself if I wasn't so busy with everything I'm doing now.
I know.
I feel like if you're going to do it, Bunny,
with all of these, let us know. We'll make content about it.
I feel like if you're going to do it, Bunny, let me know. And I'll give you information, and I'll text you and give you information.
I would love that.
I know that
my son would be interested in it because he's going to be traveling soon and he's going to be going to work on a farm, doing broccoli farming.
Oh, okay. I love that.
Yeah. And I got him into it a few years ago when he started traveling and he fell in love with it. I was like, well, do your thing. And so he started finding jobs on his own, and now he's got farms out there that are like, anytime you want to come back. So he's going to be going back to that. But I feel like after that, he wants to, he's got a car payment, he's got bills still. And I'm like, well, there's all these opportunities for you, kiddo. So I think maybe he wants to be the guinea pig. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, it would be a really fun gig, especially for someone like at his age. I know he's like on his feet, but like getting maybe more securely on his feet. Like it'd be good for that.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. Does he do van life or is he like in a car?
Right now he's got, I think it's a Crosstrek, but he did it in like a little Suzuki hatchback. So like he's he's young. He's like 26, 25, 26. So he can do, he's pretty flexible. He just wants the freedom and to be on an adventure,
So, I mean, while he's in his car, I mean, he could do the dorms, he could do a cabin. I mean, I don't know what he has, like he had farming experience. You can find, I mean, he could do like work trading for like a farmer, but that's different than work camping. So look that up. Work trade, you're
like a legit rig. Yeah.
Okay. I think you did work trading, didn't you? At one point?
I did. So I've done it with my friends. I've done it. I have friends with homesteads all over the country, and I'll stay with them, and then it's more fun for me. It just feels so good to get this big project out of the way. I come work for a few days, work my butt off, and they're happy with it. So I always have a place to go. They send me with apples, or they send me with broccoli. You know what I mean? Like they'll send me away with things. But mostly it's my friends. And so it is like a work trading, but it's more of the adventure for me.
Yeah.
But I've done Workaway, which was, I didn't have a rig at the time. Like I had a vehicle that I was living out of, but I was mostly going to like camp spots and setting up a tent, or I was like crashing in a Walmart parking lot, and that I was younger. So I had the energy and the stamina for that. But, I'm 46 now and it's a little bit different. But yeah, I did Workaway. I wanna kind of save that for that episode. So stay tuned for that. But that was interesting. I won't do it in America again, I'll tell you that.
There's some nightmare. I'm glad you're having a good experience. I really am. But I've heard some nightmare work camping stories where it was essentially.
If you guys have nightmare stories and you want to tell us about it, leave some info in the
comment down below your nightmare work camping story
at gmail.com, because like we want to hear all the perspectives. We want to hear all
the good, the bad. So before we head out, because I know we're crunched for time, we're just such busy, successful people around here. But my situation is really strange. So my husband has always had corporate jobs. He's done car sales. He did recruiting for a tech startup. And when we were living in Florida, the tech startup was in a building in downtown St. Pete that used to be a house. There's a lot of historic buildings there. So it had like a full shower, a walk-in shower. It had toilet. They never said we could spend the night in there, which I wouldn't. There's no beds or anything. But they had like a full kitchen with like Miele appliances. So like we would be cooking in there at night after everyone left the office. We would shower in there. I would color my hair in there. And I was like, whatever, like they knew. And then sometimes, okay, they didn't know this part. Don't do what I do. So we would back our vehicle in like next to the building, and we had a 50-foot extension cord, and Andrew would go upstairs to the balcony and plug in our van to the balcony, and we would steal their power, and then we would just get up really early and move the van across the street, and like nobody knew.
This is the part that goes on Patreon. Like
nope.
Okay. I'll bleep that part out and be like, you have to go to Patreon. Okay, so now for the well-behaved part. So now Andrew works at a car dealership, and the GM and the manager have both numerous times have been like, you can plug in during the day so your wife and dog can have AC. You guys can spend the night there. Like, we don't care. And they have power outlets, and I have my 30 amp my surge protector and my cord, and I can run my AC and have the Wi-Fi, and like it's super chill. We don't stay here every night. Andrew likes to stay here when he has to get up early the next day and he's already at work. But like we don't have access at night to like the dealership. Like we don't go in there. We have our sink and our camping toilet. So we're like really planning, okay, when are we getting showers? When are we taking our poo-poo? Because we don't want to poo-poo in the camping toilet in the van if we don't have to. So like we just come here, go to sleep, and then do our thing. But that's, a perk And it just
I
depends
bet
if
it's
you.
like you being there too, because it's a presence during the evening that kind of
Yeah.
keeps an eye.
Well,
too.
last night, or not, no, 2 nights ago, a sheriff was here and we drove past him and whatever. And we were like walking gunner. And then we went back to our little spot in the very back. And the sheriff shows up while Andrew's setting up the power cord. And he's like, hey, and I started recording because I'm like, here we go. Andrew's going to get assaulted and thrown down the hill. And so the sheriff was like so nice. He was like, hey, are you allowed to be here? And Andrew was like, oh my God. Yeah. Like, you could, like, here's my business card, blah, blah, blah. Like, I work here. And they're like, oh, no, it's fine. Like, I just wanted to make sure. And he just drove off. Like, it was fine. But that's not the case for everybody. And I have to acknowledge the fact that I'm very privileged. Me and my husband are white, cis, straight presenting people. My husband has a well above minimum wage career and he works with like highly respected people in the community that are more affluent. He's selling vehicles to people that are affluent and have money. So it's hard to explain. Van life looks so different to so many people. And
I think
I'm
it
just
has
really
a lot
lucky.
to do with how you present yourself as well. Like if you show up in rags and dirty and smelly and smelling like broccoli, you know, like you're I hate to say this, but you are inviting the wrong kind of attention. Not asking for it, but definitely inviting it in. Like it's looking for you already. So if you're presenting that way, you're going to have those kind of problems attract to you. But if you're trying to keep yourself, you know, good posture with, you know, you work hard, you present yourself well, hopefully that will get you a little bit further in this lifestyle. But also that happened to me in the park at Flagstaff.
Yeah,
And
it doesn't matter. I mean,
laptop and with my phone, like working away, and I got harassed.
it doesn't. Yes, be respectful of your surroundings, but also I don't think you should be treated like a criminal just because of the way you look. And that's also very subjective what law enforcement or someone like a NIMBY views as like some people like, oh, your nose ring and your tattoos. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm college educated and me and my husband have like a very specific goal. So I'm sorry that I don't look the way that you think I should. But like, you know, once again, it also depends on the area you're in. So if you are stuck in a certain area for whatever reason, that's why I think work camping would be a really good idea so that you can have a safe place to not get harassed. Just like I'm so lucky that I have a very safe place me and my husband can go. And if we were ever harassed, we have his managers on speed dial to be like, hey, like tell the cops that we're allowed to be here. You work here, you know?
Yeah.
And then I feel like for you guys too, being at his place of employment, there's surely cameras on the parking lot. Not that that's necessarily a safe thing, but it can be safe in the event something happens.
No, I feel good about it because any type of like transgression or any type of like issue that arises, it's all on camera and it keeps us safe. And, you know, regardless of what law enforcement or anyone else does, we have that insurance policy because I know we're not doing anything wrong. We're coming here to sleep and get up and go to work. So I do feel good about the fact that, I don't know, it kind of feels like we're insulated. And I know that's hard to explain to people. So many people have been suggesting lately, you need to be nomadic. You need to keep moving. And my situation is just so specific. And I'm glad that I can explain it on here because van life is not one size fits all. We're all three of us right now are doing something completely different and it's working for us.
Hey, I have something to add to that whole keep moving thing too. Like there is the Flock Safety Network, there's AXA, Axon, there's Procis. There are these networks now where you can be tracked. It doesn't matter how nomadic you are. There are heat scanning pew-pews that they have now to see if people are in vehicles. It doesn't matter how insulated your vehicle is. They have drone footage. There are satellite surveillance things going on. Like no one's really safe. The best way is to be, yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Palantir. That's exactly what produced all of that stuff and sold it all. But the best way to protect yourself is to stay, I hate to say this, but within the bounds of society in some way and stay connected and productive within that, I suppose, because that's where they see value in you. And I hate that because I also love the idea of escaping society, but at this point, we are all infected by it. There's no escaping it at this point. We have to accept it, that we have to work within those bounds until we can't, until it completely collapses.
You have to play the game. To me, I look at capitalism, I look at living in America as a game. And I'm not saying it's fair, and I'm not saying it's right. And yes, I will still stand on my soapbox and be like, this is wrong. But I also can't have this romanticized ideology where everything's going to be a utopia one day. It never, look at history. That's not how it is. Yes, fight for your rights, don't lay down and take it. But in order to have stability, to be able to even have the privilege to speak out publicly, me and my husband have to have an income. Me and my husband have to have some type of safety net within a community where people have our backs. And I know that's really messed up, but you have to find a way to play the game.
Though. We have to accept that that's the facts. That's how it is right now. And I know it's unfortunate. Some people, they can't present well. They can't take a shower. They can't clean their clothes. They can't afford all that. Some of them are mentally ill. Some of them are disabled. Some of them are vets with like bullets in their legs that they're walking around with a cane. Like, it's not fair. And I would love to be able to reach out and help those kinds of people. I don't have the means to do that right now, but I also can't enable people. It's a very fine line. It's a very fine line, and it's frustrating for all of us.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah. I wanted to say thank you so much for coming on here today. This has been awesome. I'm so happy that we're able to find people. If you know anyone else that you want to suggest to be on the podcast that has had experience with this, maybe longer, maybe bad, we're up for hearing it. But to have your time today is just beautiful. Thank you so much. We're going to put your information in the caption. It's Mikey's Traveling Tales, TAILS. And that's going to be down there. I guess we're going to close with the old saying that we're going to try and say together, but we never get it right.
Okay.
Lock your door.
Lock your doors. Stay alert.
Stay aware, alert, and
always listen for the knock.